the time, even in its smallest measurement, that you loved me at all.
How can anyone love pebble in their shoe?
Well, that's quite the comeback. There actually is a good analogy for how data science is kind of like any time that you want to find and explore relationships. Let's say a relationship with a person. You see a beautiful person. What's the first thing you need to do? Well, let's face the problem. Let's go and confront what is it the client really wants to know. And then you try to understand that data, like going on a date where you ask questions back and forth of each other. The pattern is you try to understand more, and as you do, you look for the powerful ways to connect with confidence to a significant other. Significant, get it? Because significant. Those are 3 stat jokes all in a row. I thought it was funny. Let's move on. S, what is the breadth and depth of this relationship? How far can it go? Is this the kind of relationship that's going to go to marriage, or would that idea make someone run away? We could also look at R squared. What are the interconnections? Because you don't just start a relationship with a person, you also have a relationship with their friends and family, and you shouldn't necessarily let someone's friends dictate how that relationship should go. Same way as in statistics, we don't let R squared tell us whether we have the right model. Instead, you check those residuals. You look for the flaws or things that are wrong. Is this something you can live with? Something that can be fixed? If there is something wrong in the residuals, then you know you need to keep working on that model. With this, you should have been able to do those kind of basic, simple, high school type relationships that you've done in your intro class for those really simple linear models. So what if we want a relationship that's a little more complex? Well, let's start with R code. With the R code, we can take what we know about a person and specially apply it in just the right way to be able to examine that relationship deeper. And so R code is like those little things we do in a relationship to try to take it to the next level. And the main tools in examining statistical relationship are the p-value, where we talk about what's there, and those confidence intervals where we listen to what the data says, because the talking part is really the most important part of a relationship. I've heard it's not like my specialty or anything. Let's go on to the next slide. We have some powerful tools in R to help us do those p-values and confidence intervals. And the lm command is something that we will talk about, but it's like a more intense state where the two of you are just there talking to each other the whole time, and that allows for deeper, more meaningful relationships. All right, I admit I made these slides quite a while ago. Some of these may be outdated. Let's just move on. Let's talk about categorical effects. As you throw in some categorical effect, your model is allowed to be more complex to show those things that you couldn't necessarily see without looking at the categorical effects. And if we have categorical interactions, then we can have effects that are categorical changing how other data is interacted, which allows us to have some curvature. It allows you to look even deeper at how those interrelationship between the variables are affecting the y, which is the response that we're after. We can also have numerical interactions, which are very complicated, very tricky, but with those numerical interactions, we can finally take a look at these relationships. And because of that, the types of models that we're able to analyze is greatly improved. And we can see the curves, and that comes across wrong. Let's look at multicollinearity. What kinds of things should be put together? What kinds of things shouldn't? If it's a choice between two different things and both of them are equally good, how do we choose which one to keep and which one to throw out? And log transformations allow for some very important curves, which biology, finance, there's a couple different majors which really need these log transformations. It curves around in a circle, looks just like a ring, and so from here we want to talk about special trappings to make it look nice, introduction and writing and putting in pictures, and how do you make that conclusion really get their attention. And with all these things put together, you're able to build a beautiful relationship. We want to marry the ideas of computer science and statistics, English, psychology, business, all of it together to help a client build a relationship with their data, to understand it, to get along with it, and to be able to answer the question that they're trying to get answered with their information.